Now, the Jinn have been such a presence in the Miss Marvel Disney Plus series, and I'm sure you must be wondering, what is the origin of their powers and why does it matter, especially when it comes to Cameron and his future in the finale of the series, and perhaps moving forward into the Marvel Cinematic Universe itself? Things have changed on the dime recently, including Cameron's character arc, and well, we're going to discuss all of that right now. Welcome back to the Mama Saga, where this Marvel-loving mama is a mother by day, but breaks down comic book sagas, movies, and shows like Miss Marvel by night. Before we go any further, I'll issue a warning, spoiler alert. There are spoilers in this video, so if you have not watched all available episodes of Miss Marvel yet, then you might want to exit this video and go catch up, and then come back. Okay. So, when it comes to the power of the Jinn in the Miss Marvel miniseries, for starters, it's a color-coded affair. It's been theorized by many that the color of the powers a character uses in the MCU is tied to one of the 6 singularities drawn from the fabric of the universe itself, the Infinity Stones. For example, when witchcraft was used by, say, Agatha Harkness in the WandaVision Disney Plus series, it always had a purplish cast or hue that appears to have a tie to the Power Stone, which is also purple in color, and that type of power or energy provides its user with increased strength and the ability to manipulate energy. The Power Stone first debuted in the original Guardians of the Galaxy movie, where it was explained that the stone had the power to destroy any living material that came into contact with it. And you know what? The veil that connects our own dimension here on planet Earth to the purplish magical Noor dimension, it was very clearly explained by Waleed of the Red Daggers that if the veil was ever lifted, the Noor would overtake and destroy everything in our dimension until there was nothing left. And given what happened to Faria and Najma of the Clandestines when their humanoid earthly forms came into contact with that veil and the purplish Noor or light energy streaming from it, well, Waleed wasn't wrong now, was he? Going back to the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, you should remember that Eson the Searcher used the Power Stone to wipe out the population of planets that weren't judged or deemed worthy by the Celestials. And although Ronan the Accuser was able to successfully wield the Power Stone, the Guardians of the Galaxy joined forces to hold it and use it against him. Although they were nearly destroyed in the process, if Peter Quill wasn't the son of Ego the Living Planet, who is a Celestial himself, they might never have survived. Even Ronan couldn't directly touch the stone. He had it placed inside a staff that served as a vessel for it, the way the orb did while it was hidden away on planet Morag. Because we all remember what happened when the Collector's assistant touched the Power Stone directly, that dark magic ate her alive. But that's not where the whole concept of dark magic ends in the MCU before we get to the Jinn and their powers. For example, Dormammu is in the dark dimension and he too has purplish power or energy around him. He is the ruler of the dark dimension and he too can manipulate or use dark magic at will. Now, when Aisha first puts the bangle on, her eyes turn a purplish hue, and the same thing happens when Kamala first puts the bangle on. What's more, when Kamala first wears the bangle and its powers are activated, she ends up in the purplish-looking Noor dimension. Although in episode 1, we, the viewers, didn't yet know that the Noor dimension was a thing. When Kamala uses her powers, they're always purplish in hue, just like whenever the Power Stone is used, just like when witches using magic, like Agatha Harkness, use their powers. Wanda Maximoff actually received much of her magic from the Mind Stone, so that the fact that she's wielding chaos magic can explain why when she uses her powers, they're red and not purple. When Najma apparently sacrifices herself to close the veil so that her son Cameron doesn't die along with everyone and everything else in our dimension, the last word she says is his name. And well, what do you know? There's a lot of Noor-looking power or dark magic that travels the world to reach him, imbuing him with powers of his own that he didn't have before. Now, in episode 3, when Najma and Kamala were talking about who the clandestines were and what they needed from her in order to return to the Noor dimension from their earthbound exile. Well, at that point, Najma acknowledged that the bangle was useful in terms of unlocking powers in Kamala and wondered if perhaps the bangle could do the same for Cameron as well. But now it would appear that in her final act of sacrifice, coming into direct contact with the veil gave Najma a power boost in terms of energy, so that while her earth-based humanoid form was being consumed, her own inner magical nature, or Noor, was released, and she was able to send it all, using her dark magic, to him, so that his own dark magic powers could unlock. Now, does that mean that he's stronger than Miss Marvel because he doesn't need a bangle for that to have happened? We have the final episode, episode 6 of Miss Marvel, left to watch at this point. We'll see. But here's my thoughts right now. When it comes to Cameron and his future in the finale of the series, and perhaps moving forward into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as of right this moment, they're still setting him up as a protagonist, as a sympathetic character who is protecting Bruno from being shot at by the Department of Damage Control through their drones. And he is truly mortified that he hadn't been getting Bruno's name right for the past how many days, constantly calling him Brian instead of Bruno. And he's trying to bond with him over science, but in a truly bashful and awkward way. But I think that all bets are off once he learns that his mother Najma and the rest of his clandestine family have died. He may blame Kamala for their deaths, and then, boom, he's the villain that we all knew him to be in the comic book saga of Miss Marvel. He'll be using his Jinn DNA dark magic against her and may always carry a grudge for being transformed into an orphan. He may leave episode 6 swearing revenge against her and might just show up in the Marvels to make life difficult for Kamala, and his extreme emotions of anger and hatred might just kick things up a notch for his dark magic-based powers, because after all, when she has been under stress, Kamala's own powers are at their strongest. It's when she lets her guard down and or she's hurt or her focus is shattered that her powers are weakened. I think Cameron's going to turn into a very formidable, very powerful enemy who might learn to vaporize anything in his range. Again, due to his Power Stone type dark magic, which is destructive in nature, one way or the other in the end. Just ask Caecilius and his ill-fated crew after they tangled with some seriously nasty dark magic of their own. Maybe things will end up differently in the Miss Marvel miniseries, but I seriously doubt it. The Mama Saga post-credit scene. Make sure you don't miss my super thorough Miss Marvel Episode 5 reactions, review, Easter eggs, and theories. If I've missed a single solitary Easter egg, I want you to tell me in the comments below that video. Plus, we have lives going on every single week on my channel moving forward. So if you love all things Marvel and want your voice to be heard, then you won't want to miss them. Anyway, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok and subscribe to the Mama Saga for more comic book saga breakdowns, Salty Mama style. Thanks for watching, take care, and see you next time.